Before we start, stay with me for the next few minutes, because Proverbs is not just a book of advice. It's a book about learning how to live wisely. And by the end, you'll see how God works through wisdom, discipline, and daily choices. Let's talk about Proverbs. Proverbs is a book of wisdom. It is made up of short sayings, practical truth, and lessons for everyday life. A lot of Proverbs is connected to Solomon, and the book gives guidance for real living, speech, money, relationships, work, discipline. Proverbs is not written like one long story. It is written more like a collection of wisdom statements. And the main idea begins early. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. That means real wisdom starts with God. Not just intelligence, not just experience, not just talent. Wisdom begins with reverence for God. This is one of the clearest ways God works in Proverbs. God works by giving direction to the person who is willing to listen. Proverbs keeps drawing a contrast between two paths: the wise path and the foolish path. The wise person listens. The foolish person ignores correction. The wise person thinks before speaking. The foolish person speaks carelessly. The wise person values discipline. The foolish person rejects it. So Proverbs teaches that life is shaped by small choices, not only big moments, daily moments. That is another way God works in this book. God forms people through daily wisdom. Proverbs talks a lot about the mouth. Words can heal, and words can wound. Words can calm things down, and words can start fires. So Proverbs reminds us that wisdom is not just what you know. It is also how you speak. The book also talks about work. It praises diligence. It warns against laziness. Not because God only cares about productivity, but because habits matter. Proverbs teaches that steady effort often brings stability. It talks about money too. It warns against greed. It warns against chasing quick gain. It points towards honesty, restraint, and wisdom. The same is true with relationships. Proverbs talks about friendship. It talks about family. It talks about the kind of people you walk with. Because over time, the people around you affect the path you take. Another important part of Proverbs is correction. The book says again and again that wise people accept correction. That is not always easy, but it is important. So this is another way God works in Proverbs. God works through instruction, warning, and correction. Not to control you, but to guide you. Proverbs also speaks about the heart. It says to guard your heart, because what is inside you will shape what comes out of you. That means wisdom is not only external behavior, it is also inner condition. Now, Proverbs does not promise that every wise person will have an easy life, but it does show a pattern. Wisdom tends to lead toward stability. Foolishness tends to lead toward trouble. So Proverbs is not just giving random sayings. It is teaching you how life usually works under God's order. If Psalms teaches you how to pray, Proverbs teaches you how to walk. how to think, how to speak, how to choose. And one of the biggest lessons in the whole book is simple. Wisdom is available, but you have to want it. You have to listen. You have to receive correction. You have to let God shape your choices. So if you want to understand Proverbs clearly, remember this. Proverbs is about learning to live with reverence for God, so your daily choices become wiser over time. It is practical, it is honest, and it shows that God cares about ordinary life, not just big spiritual moments. Ordinary speech, ordinary habits, ordinary decisions. That is where wisdom grows. If you're listening to this, I'm glad you're here. Proverbs reminds us that wisdom is not out of reach. God gives direction to the person who is willing to listen. And over time, wise choices build a steadier life. If this helps you understand Scripture more clearly, leave a comment with what stood out to you. And if you want to keep walking through the Bible with me, book by book, go ahead and subscribe. Next up is Ecclesiastes. Take care of yourself, and we'll keep walking through this together.